Welcome to Setter Capital's Q1 2026 Market Feedback Report, where we review the types of private market fund transfers we facilitated during the quarter and what they may signal about broader secondary market activity. Today, we'll look at the data across geography, vintage profile, and asset class mix, while also comparing what we saw versus Q4 2025. Geographic dispersion. Let's take a look at the data. Starting with geography, activity remained heavily concentrated in developed markets. Approximately 54% of transferred positions were North America focused, continuing the broader trend we saw in Q4 2025. Western Europe and the UK represented roughly 24% of Q1 transfers, notably higher than Q4 levels, driven primarily by buyout and secondary-oriented strategies. Global strategies accounted for approximately 11% of activity, while Asia exposure remained selective at just over 8%. Overall, the geographic mix suggests sellers continue to bring more mature, developed market portfolios to market. Let's look at the vintage dispersion data. In terms of vintages, nearly 60% of transferred funds came from 2016 through 2022 vintages, reinforcing continued liquidity in midlife private equity portfolios. Older vintages, meaning pre-2016 funds, represented approximately 38% of activity. Compared to Q4 2025, the data continues to point towards stronger transfer activity in seasoned portfolios. Finally, we look at the asset class mix. From a strategy perspective, traditional buyout and growth equity remained the largest segment of activity. Traditional LBO funds accounted for 22% of positions, while growth equity represented another 14%. One of the more notable shifts was the increase in secondary funds and fund of funds, which represented 24% of Q1 transfers. Only about 11% of those vehicles were venture-focused. Venture capital activity remained consistent at approximately 16% of transfers overall. In credit, activity was entirely concentrated in direct lending strategies. Energy-related strategies also accounted for approximately 14%. Taken together, Q1 2026 transfer activity continued to favor mature, developed market private equity exposure with improved alignment between buyers and sellers for seasoned assets. As always, Setter Capital continues to monitor evolving secondary market trends throughout 2026 and beyond. Thanks for listening.